Good morning, everybody. I'm out here in our extension office composting demonstration area, and I kind of wanted to just kind of give you a view of some of the different compost options that we've tested and tried for composting in your home garden. And I will say that I personally have used almost every method here, including just a trash can. They all work beautifully. Basically, the one that works best for you is what fits your homeowners association, if you have one that fits your personal preference. And if you live out in a wooded area or out, in a more rural area, you can see we've got all the woods back here behind us. So sometimes a closed container might be a better option for you if you're concerned about attracting wildlife or rodents or things of that nature. The most popular versions or varieties that we have here are simply this grid. This is fence panel that is held together by just some wiring on the corners. It's very open. It is a 4 by 4 by 4, so it's 4 feet all the way around, and fairly deep, so it's about 3 feet deep. And we simply just layer it up. You can see we start on bare earth, just basic earth ground. We don't put anything underneath of it, and we start layering on it leaves, hay, mulch, shredded bark of any kind, shredded newspaper, kitchen scraps, grass cuttings can all just start layering up on here. So this one is just now started. So this is our foundation. It's got shredded leaves and shredded straw here, primarily pine straw. This one's empty, so we've harvested everything out of this one that we can get. This one is ready. So as you can see, this compost bin, this soil looks like soil. It doesn't look like eggshells and leaves and twigs. This looks like earth. This looks like dirt. So this compost is ready to be used. This one has just been harvested, and this one is just starting. So off to the side over here beside me, you're going to notice some stuff. They kind of, as we clean out garden beds around our office, pieces that can be composted get laid out here, and they run them through a wood chipper or a mulcher or a shredder to create the nice fine stuff that you see here. Okay, now you can kind of see, there's a top of a pineapple, there's some looks like coffee filter or napkins here. So there are some chunks to it, but most stuff here, they run it through a chipper or shredder in order to get the smaller pieces, because the smaller the pieces, the quicker it's going to break down and become compost for you. Not a requirement, just something our office does. These are raked leaves where they have either come from a yard or they've just been raked here out in our tree areas or our orchard areas. A couple of things you want to think about. We're not composting anything that is diseased or anything that is infested with pests, because that would put that into our soil, increasing our risk of that problem later on in our garden. These churn styles work really nice. So everything goes into the barrel, the lid gets on it, you can roll, tumble it to keep it turning. An important thing about compost is turning it. You can see we've got a little hand claw here, so we just reach down in and kind of claw it up and turn it up while it's really shallow. But as it gets more full, like these other big ones, we're gonna have to get in there with a pitchfork or a potato fork or a broad fork and really work to turn those. So that's something to think about. Do you have to have something this fancy? Absolutely not. For years, my compost bin was simply a pile on the ground. And in the heat of the summer, I will take either the pile, or I now have some like this. I cover it over with a tarp to really get that sun cooking it down and speeding up, accelerating the process. Compost can take 6 months to a year to go from, the chunky started stuff to that beautiful soil that we've got nutrient rich healthy, dense soil. If we've got it shredded, closer to 6 months. If we've got it covered and cooked, closer to 6 months. I'm going to post a few tips, but this entire week we're going to talk about creating our own compost bin and why fall is the perfect time of year to start that compost bin.